So there was a number of comments on my post around screen time and under fives talking about how schools do everything on screens now. So first of all, the data on this really does matter. According to Teacher Tap, most schools do have access to tablets or devices, but having them and using them constantly are two very different things. In the majority of state schools, those devices are shared. We're talking trolleys, class sets, booked slots, which means realistically a class might use devices for a couple of lessons a week, not all day, every day, iPad glued to their face. So this idea that children are just sat staring at screens from 9 till 3 doing the exact same thing they do for multiple hours at home just doesn't line up with what's actually happening in the vast majority of classrooms. And it comes back to the same conversation about screen time, in that not all screen time is equal. And I'll keep saying that until people stop lumping it all into one category. If technology is being used for passive screen time, watching, swiping, zoning out, then yeah, poor practice. No argument from me. But that's not what good use of technology looks like in school. For the past 12 years, I've worked relentlessly alongside teaching, traveling all over the UK, working with hundreds of schools, thousands of teachers, specifically on how to use technology effectively. And the best schools aren't using tech so children can just consume more. They're using it so students can create. They can record explanations, they can design, they can code, they can script and perform, using tech as a tool, not a babysitter. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some great consumer educational apps out there. Times Tables, Rockstars, Blookit, and in small doses, absolutely fine. But the real power of technology in schools is when it's being used to remove barriers. Because for some children, including my own, when reading and writing are such huge obstacles in accessing the curriculum, technology can level that playing field. Speech to text, spoken content, audio instructions. And for a small number of pupils, a device might also support their own regulation. That does not mean that every child has one, and it certainly doesn't mean they're all just scrolling endlessly on YouTube. Look, when research talks about screen time and language delay, I put good money on it. That's not coming from school-based screen time being the issue. That doesn't mean schools are perfect. They're not. Some schools absolutely invest in technology and use it poorly. Others roll it out without the training for teachers to match. But I've worked with so many schools who use it exceptionally well. And when that happens, it supports learning rather than replaces it. And I'll always come back to this question I share in all my training with every teacher I work with when it comes to using technology. If the technology isn't adding anything to the learning, so if the technology is simply substituting what we can already do on paper, why are we using it at all? That's the question schools should be asking, not is it a screen? It's, is this use of technology helping children learn? And if it's not, we shouldn't be using it. But when it can be really, really effective.